Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with another video for our competitive programming series. In this video, I'll be solving one problem from LeetCode. If you're new to LeetCode, LeetCode is a programming platform where you can solve problems to enhance your competitive programming skills. Also, in this video, I'll show you how to approach a coding problem. Here, we will start with the very naive approach. First, we will go through the problem description. We will see the input and output format, and then we'll see the constraint, and then we'll start thinking with the very basic solution. And then we will try to optimize the solution. But before that, if you are interested in competitive programming, do check out my other videos and also subscribe to my channel so that you get updates for more such videos. So let's start with this video. Here, today we'll be solving sort colors from LeetCode. And if you see, here are some likes and dislikes about this problem, and you can see that the difficulty level of this problem is medium. So let's go through the problem description. Given an array nums with n objects colored red, white or blue, sort them in place so that objects of the same color are adjacent with the colors in the order red, white and blue. Here we will use the integers 0, 1, 2 to represent the color red, white and blue respectively. So as you can see, this problem is about sorting some colored balls. So here we are advised to represent these balls with numbers 0, 1, 2 for color red, white and blue respectively. So here they have mentioned sort them in place. That means you cannot use any extra space for sorting these colored objects. Okay. Now let's see the follow-up thing. So here they mentioned, could you solve this problem without using any library sort function? Okay. Could you come up with one pass algorithm using only order of one constant space? So the basic ask here is that you should not be using any inbuilt sort function, and you should try to come up a solution where you are using some constant space. Okay, so this is the ask from this question. So after reading the coding problem, what you should do next is go through the input and output, and for now ignore these follow-up questions. We will try to implement this at the end, but first we should be starting with the very basic approach. Okay, so let's see what is the input format and the output format. So if you see, for example, they have given, if your input array is 2021110, then the output should be 001122. So here in the example we can see we have a array of numbers where we have 2021110, but the output here expected is 001122. That means they have simply sort this array, right? And in the next input, if you see, we have 201, the output expected is 012. Similarly, if you have 0, it should give you just simple 0. And if you have 1, then 1. Okay, by looking at the input, we can definitely say that this is basically a straightforward sorting problem, but we'll see like how to solve it. Okay, so here you see you have few constraints, like your n equal to nums dot len, that means number of objects is the n, and then your n will lie between 1 to 300, that means the given number of elements in array will be in this range 1 to 300, and the values at any position I is 0, 1 or 2. So here we know that in our array we will simply have three different types of elements, which is 0, 1, 2, right? And now we have to find a solution where we can give something like this, right? Now we will try to solve this problem starting from the very basic approach, then we will optimize our solution to get the optimal solution for this. Okay, and we'll also see on these pointers, okay, in the later part of this video. So let's start with the approach, like how to solve this. So for that, I'll go to my IntelliJ editor. So here the first approach would be to sort the array, so to get the expected output. So for example, let's say if you have this input, your solution would look something like this. Okay, after sorting. So as we know that we have many sorting algorithms available using which we can solve this problem, but assuming that you will be using merge sort, the time complexity would be order of n log n, and the space complexity for merge sort is order of 1. Okay, so this is very basic where you can write a sorting algorithm. Next we will see the approach 2. Here what we can do is we can simply keep a count of the number of elements. So let's say we have this array as an input. Okay, and then what we can do is we can simply iterate through this array and we can keep a count of these elements. So let's say if we start keeping a count for 0, 1 and 2. So let's say if I start iterating through this array, the first element I get is 1, then I'll simply increment the count for 1, and similarly for 0 I'll keep a count. In this way, after traversing this array, we know that we have 2 zeros 2 ones and 2 twos, right? So we can finally have our count for this, which says that this is 2, this also is 2, and this is again 2. So now we know the number of counts, right, for 0, 1s and 2 in the first iteration. That means in one pass we have this data. Now next what we can do is, by using this data, we can iterate this array again for the second time, and we can simply start putting elements starting from 0 to 2. So let's say during the iteration we know that the number of 0 at the starting would be 2. So let's say when we start iterating through this array for the second time, we will start putting the number of zeros we have. So first we will put 0 in the first position, similarly we will put 0 at the second position, and then at the third position we will put 1, and at the fourth position as well we will put 1 according to the number of count we have, and similarly for the last two elements also we will put 2. In this way, in the second pass we will have the expected array, right? So here if you see, we have used 2 pass to get the expected array. So what we can say here is the time complexity would be n plus n, that is order of 2n. That means minimum 2 iteration is needed for getting the expected output. And also if you see, space complexity would be same, right? We haven't used any extra space. So the space complexity would be order of 1. Okay. Now we'll see, can we optimize this problem further? So for that, yes. So here in Approach 3, we'll discuss the optimal solution for this problem, which is also popularly known as Dutch national flag algorithm. Using this algorithm, we can solve this problem with time complexity order of n and space complexity order of 1. And also this coding problem, popularly known as Dutch national flag problem. To explain this algorithm, I'll go to my presentation. Here I'll explain the Dutch national flag algorithm and how it works. For example, let's say you have this array, right? And what we want to sort this array. To solve this problem using Dutch national flag algorithm, we need 3 pointers, low, mid and high. And initially we will set this pointer with some initial values. So for example, we will set the low pointer to the first element, and we'll also set the mid pointer to the first element and high pointer to the last element. And now after setting all this pointer, the idea here is that anything before low pointer should be 0. Okay, so we have to keep in mind that anything before low pointer should be 0. Like let's say if your low pointer is at this position, then all elements before that should be 0, and anything after high pointer should be 2. That means let's say if your high pointer is here, then these two elements should be 2. Okay, to achieve that we have to iterate over this array with some logic, and that logic will continue until the mid pointer is less than equal to high pointer. That means as soon as your mid pointer crosses the high pointer, the logic should stop. So next we will see what is that logic. So the logic here is that we have to keep a check on the mid pointer. We will always be checking the value at the mid pointer. For example, if the value is 0, we will simply swap the values between low and mid, and we will increment the low and mid pointer by 1. Similarly, if the value is 1, we will simply increment the mid pointer by 1, and if the value is 2, we will simply swap the values between mid and high, and then we will decrement the high pointer by 1. Now we will try to understand this logic, how it works using a dry run. Let's start with iteration 1. At iteration 1, our low pointer and mid pointer are pointing at the first value, and high pointer is pointing at the last value. So here we will be checking what is the value at mid pointer. So mid pointer we have 1. So here if we have 1, we simply need to increment the mid pointer. So in this case we just need to move this pointer by 1 position. Now the mid pointer is at second position after the first iteration. Now in the second iteration we will see what is the value at the mid pointer. If you see, the value at mid pointer is 0. So for 0, what we need to do, we need to swap the values between low and mid. So the value at the first position and the value at the second position will get swapped. And now it will look something like this. And after that, what we need to do, we need to increment low pointer and mid pointer by 1. So here, after the second iteration, we will have low pointer pointing to the second position and mid pointer pointing to the third position. Now in the third iteration, we'll see the value at mid. So now the value at mid is 1. So it will simply increment the mid pointer. Okay. Now at iteration 4, the value at mid pointer is 2. So here if you see, at 2, we need to swap the values between mid and high. So here the value at high pointer is 2 and the value at mid pointer is 2, and after swapping the array will look similar. Okay, and then just after that what we need to do, we'll simply decrement the high pointer by 1, which will look something like this. Now our high pointer will be pointing to value 0. Now again in the next iteration we'll see the value at mid. So here the value at mid is 2. Now for 2 we need to swap the values between mid and high. Now in this iteration your values at mid and high will get swapped and it will look something like this. And after that we need to decrement the high pointer. So this high pointer will move back to the value 0. So now it will look something like this after 5th iteration. In the 6th iteration, we'll simply check the value at mid. So the value at mid is 0. So for 0, what we need to do? We need to swap the values between low and mid. So here the value at low, which is 1, and the value at mid, which is 0, will get swapped. Okay. And next we need to increment the low and mid pointer. So your low will come to this third position, mid pointer will come to this position. So it will look something like this. As I mentioned previously, this process will continue until your mid is less than equal to high. So here if you see, your mid has crossed the high pointer. That means this process needs to be stopped. And if you see, we have our expected output, right? This is what we wanted at the end, which is sorted. So that's how your Dutch national flag algorithm works. And here if you notice, by using these 3 pointers, we iterate over this array only once. That means the time complexity would be order of n and the space complexity is order of 1, which is constant space complexity. And now if you go back to the problem and if you read this follow-up question, the first one was to solve this problem without using any library sort function. So here we have seen that we haven't used any library sort function, right? And the next one was about constant space, which is also satisfied with our solution, right? Now we will see the code for this problem. I have written this code in both the languages Kotlin and Java. So this is my Java solution where I have written a sort function which is taking an integer array as input. Here I have used 3 pointers, low, mid and high. I have initialized low and mid with 0 index and high with the last index of the array. Okay, and here you can see that I have used a while loop where I am running this entire process till mid is less than equal to high. And here I have put a switch where I am checking the values at mid position. So here if the value is 0, I am simply swapping the values in num between low and mid and then I am incrementing both the pointers. Similarly, if the value is 1, I am simply incrementing the mid pointer, and if the value is 2, I am simply swapping the values in nums between mid and high. Okay, and then I am decrementing the high pointer by 1. Okay, so that's about this function. I have also written a utility function for swapping these values. So as we don't have any swap function for array in Java, so I have written this utility function, and using which I am simply swapping the values. And if you see here I have written the main function where I have initialized an array with few elements, and then I am calling this function and then I am simply printing these values. So let's run this example to see the output. So here if you see, we have 1 0 1 2 0 2. Okay, so here in the output you can see that we have our sorted array. So that's about the Java solution. I have also written this solution in Kotlin. So here if you see, I have written this sort function which takes input nums which is of type int array, and then I have initialized these 3 pointers. Okay, and similar to the Java solution, I have used a while loop. Here similar to switch, we have when construct in Kotlin which I have used here. So here I am basically checking for the mid value, and if it is 0 1 or 2, according to that I am taking some action. Okay, and we can also run this example to see the output. It will give similar output. So as you can see, we have the expected array here. This is one of the important problems which get asked in many coding interviews. One should know this algorithm to solve similar kind of problems. You might get a variation of this coding problem, but the idea here is that you should be able to apply the logic. For example, let's say if you get some similar problem where you have 3 unique elements in an array and you need to find out something like this, then you should be knowing like the problem statement may be different, but the idea here is to apply this algorithm to get a expected output. So knowing things and practicing such problems can help you to develop your brain so that you can solve similar kind of problems in future in any coding interviews. So I hope this video is useful to you. So that's all about this video. There are more videos which will be coming in this competitive programming series. So if you want to learn competitive programming And if you want to crack any coding interview, do subscribe to my channel and press that bell icon so that you get notification whenever I upload any new video. Thank you for watching.